while the kids' church, kids head out for their group, for their church, we have a few things this morning, very exciting. So let's go through this. And we all know that this is May Missions Month. We have been focusing on several things that the church has been doing. Small things, big things the church has been doing. And it's been a wonderful thing to know that we as a church can highlight these things so people would know what we're doing and pick up one of these groups and start praying for them to see what they've been doing. So this morning, we'll have a missions legacy with Moreton Bay Community Matters, who will share with what they've been doing, with the hard work that they've been putting into, and also a garden outreach announcement from Glennis. And also we'll have a video clip of Nick and Cass. So it'll be an exciting time. And continue to pray for these groups. And after all 3 events I've done, John Packer would come up and pray for these groups to see the extension, to see what they've been doing in our community. Yep. Thank you.
Thanks, Sam. Good to be here to be able to tell you what is happening on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. It's hard to believe that last month was the 7th birthday of Moreton Bay Community Matters. It seems to have gone just like that. It started when a group of people who were dissatisfied with volunteering at another community group came to the church one morning in April 2016 and asked if they could use our facilities to give food hampers away to the community. As they wanted to remain separate to the church leadership agreed that Rivers Church would support them in any way they could. Val Payne is the only current member of the original group who approached the church for help. Back then, Luke Skipper, you may remember him as the Army chaplain training here, became the church liaison with their committee, and I was involved as treasurer. Michael Thurlow was also there at that time assisting the church. Over the 7 years, the mix of volunteers has changed now to be mostly from our church. Neil O'Hare, Val Payne, Mike Voster and myself and Michael Thurlow, he was representing Caboolture, are the current committee members. In 2018, Michael Thurlow, as pastor of the church up at Caboolture, started MBCM up there. They started with approximately 20 hampers per week, and this year they've been averaging about 50 hampers. And so far this year they've given away 955. Right. We have a magnificent group of volunteers. They are truly magnificent. Ask for anything and pretty well they will do it. And they come both from the church and from the local community who work hard each week. It is our hope that we can continue to provide a joyful and happy environment in which to work. On behalf of the committee, I really want to thank the volunteers, past and present, for the work that you have done. For without you, Moreton Bay would not exist. Now for the future, if you'd like to become part of the Moreton Bay team of volunteers, please see Mike or myself. And if you're able to, come on a Wednesday or on a Thursday morning. Now what I'd like to do now is have all the volunteers stand up. All of Moreton Bay. And just turn around and have a look, because they're all mostly at the back. But this is about a third of our full number. Thanks.
And I'd like to say it's an absolute privilege to work with this particular group. It's a joy for me personally. We have reviewed our client list last October and retained 408 of them. In the last 6 months, we have added a further 150. We are fortunate that they don't all come on the same day. Our policy is that we are there to supply a need, not a want, and the majority of the clients respect that and only come when they need a hamper. Our clients would range in age from 20 to 86 and from a variety of nationalities. They include young families, singles, marrieds, widows and widowers, and they come from most suburbs in the Moreton Bay region.
We'll try and catch up with some of the videos. Vera, can you tell me your story?
Hi Tony, my name is Vera. I started down here about 8 months ago and I was coming for boxes prior to that. I was speaking to Val. She came around for a coffee one morning and I was sitting in the corner after my husband passed away. I was sitting in the corner just feeling miserable for myself, and Val says, why don't you come down and help with the hampers? So here I am, and they're lovely people. It's one big happy family, and I enjoy it every Wednesday and Thursday.
Great, thanks, Vera. Hi, Val. Would you like to just tell us your story?
Okay. I'd been coming here for a while. My husband was sick, and then after he passed away, I was looking for something to do. So I came down here, and when we started with about 40 hampers, and it just gradually grew from here, and the friendships and talking to the people outside that are struggling, and it's just made a hole in my life full again, and I just feel so blessed that I've been able to come and do this. So.
Okay.
Yes, I'd just like to thank the Moreton Bay Community Group for the marvellous job that they do here. And a lot of people come for the fellowship and the interaction. Without them, things would be a lot harder, and I see it growing more and more each week.
As Val said, back in 2016, we only collected food from Second Bite, which is a Coles food rescue business, and we gave around 44 hampers a week to the community. 7 years later, we collect from 20 places, including some twice. Second Bite, 2 bakeries, 7 Coles stores, 4 Woolworths stores, and 1 Aldi. And Oz Harvest delivered to us also. We now give out 144 hampers per week, plus over 50 at Caboolture since last Christmas. Over the last 6 months, we have given out 3,100 hampers, helping over 9,700 people. A good percentage of these are regular clients. Depending on the contents, the hampers are around 10 to 15 kilos in weight. This represents almost 2 tons of food that we give out each week. In fact, by my rough estimation, very rough, we have supplied over 26,000 hampers over the last 7 years. This number is conservative and probably much higher.
How we do it is the fresh produce is collected on Tuesday and Wednesday mornings, sorted and put into hampers. Then on Thursday morning, the mad rush begins. 7:30 to 9 is when we give it away. It might be a 7:30 start, but people arrive. We saw last week and the last few weeks, even this cold weather, people arrive at 5 o'clock waiting for the 7:30 start to make sure they don't miss out. Quite often they're gone by 8:30 and we have to make up pantry-style hampers to enable all clients who come for a hamper to get one. In the early days, we used laundry baskets as hampers. So that's how it looked in the back room of the hall, stacked on one top of one another. But now, where I'm up to, we would carry them into the back room at the sound of many grunts and groans and put them on the floor in the back room. It was quite hard for our backs. We now have a streamlined way in which we do by improving the hampers, improving procedures. We also have introduced various equipment to minimise manual lifting. Equipment such as hamper trolleys, scissor lift trolleys, wire shelf trolleys, and we're waiting on the grant approval for a flexible roller conveyor. These will make it a lot easier for us. As the food, this is on funding, as the food we received is all donated, we're not allowed to sell it. So our funding currently comes from Bunnings barbecues, local and federal grants, church grants and gifts from people, which enable us to purchase equipment like fridges, freezers, trolleys and a laptop.
I'd like to talk a bit about God's amazing provision for this work. Week after week, we are constantly amazed at the food received. The local pickups change week to week as it all depends on the surplus at the stores and what is available on the day we pick up, as there are other charities that pick up on Mondays and Tuesdays. At different times on Wednesday morning, we review the food collected, and sometimes we think that we are going to have to purchase some to fill the hampers. But when all the donated food is put into the hampers, just like the loaves and fishes in Jesus' day, the hampers look remarkably full. Really good, and the clients will be blessed. 2 recent examples. A member of our church suggested that we contact Woolworths Warner, as no one was calling on them for the food rescue. We did, and now we pick up from them. A second example is that a client of MBCM had a son working at Woolworths at Dakabin who said that no one was picking up their food rescue. So we contacted them, and now we pick up there as well. Their management came to see our operation and were amazed at how many clients we are helping, and were excited to continue to donate to us. At this same time, our hampers numbers went from 120 to 140. God's amazing provision.
We have people who carry the hampers to the client's car, and they regularly have opportunities to pray for the people. Many have health or financial issues and are quite open at times to receive prayer. And the volunteers, which is a great time, also have a prayer circle before the hampers are given out on Thursday mornings. Now, the big question, how can you help? There's a food box outside the glass doors here at church for anyone who would like to contribute pantry items to MBCM. All donations were very much appreciated. If you'd like to volunteer, please see Mike or myself. And could you please pray for the clients and volunteers that the Lord will be made real to them. And purpose, I left this purposely to last, as is the main reason we do this. In Scripture, Jesus encourages us to help the poor, include feeding the hungry. Our constant prayer is this work will continue here at this church for as long as there is a need. And the way things are looking in society, I think that's going to be for a while. Thank you.